Hi, everyone. I'm Charlene Shirk, and welcome to Digital Champions, where we speak to some of the most innovative thinkers in the digital space. And joining me today from Santa Cruz, California, is my esteemed co-host, Jared Brick. Hi, Jared. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm excited to see an old friend on our interview today.
And speaking of your old friend, we have Sean Sheppard from U Plus from San Francisco, California. Hi, Sean. Thanks so much for being on Digital Champions today.
Always a pleasure.
Well, tell us what you do over there at U Plus and a little bit about the customers that you serve.
Well, we are a digital innovation as a service company for large organizations. We help them build new digital businesses, typically either on top of or adjacent to their core business.
And Sean, help me understand, what are some of those pain points? Give me a top 1 to 3 pain points that they're coming to you with.
Well, most innovations fail, and most of the reasons they fail have to do with people and markets, not products and technology. And so what they really lack are stage-relevant teams with the right mindset, skill set, and a framework to find the truth about where a particular idea fits with a user or a market, what to do about it, how to learn from that, and then how to create a new revenue stream from it.
Got it. And if you can pull the curtain back a little bit on your process, what makes you guys different as a firm, and a little bit of that secret sauce, behind the curtain specialities?
Yeah, I think it's two things. It's the people and the playbook. The people being, if you haven't worked in a startup, you don't work for U Plus, because going from 0 to 1 is very different than managing what you already know. The knowledge, skills, behaviors, and individual attributes, or what I would call the startup DNA, required to be successful in taking something someplace new, doesn't exist in most large organizations. The reality is you need entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs don't want to work for you. So we bridge the execution gap by providing an entrepreneurial environment for awesome startup people that really want to work on cool things, that recognize that large corporations have a distinct advantage if they execute well and get out of the way and let the right kinds of people execute against that playbook.
Got it. Sean, what do you think are some of those? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Charlie.
No, go ahead. You're on a roll. I want to hear what else, because I got lots of questions too. So go ahead.
I was gonna say, what do you think are some of those tectonic plates that are shifting now in the market, Sean?
Well, I mean, obviously, digital transformation is accelerated probably by a decade as a result of the pandemic. So everyone has to do something to stay relevant to their customers. I mean, 50% of the S&P 500 in the year 2000, for example, no longer exists. And there are those that say that a third of the S&P 500 in the year 2030 haven't even started yet. So the rate and pace of technology and the pace at which business needs to respond to that, and the expectations of their customers, have changed. We live in the innovation economy. People want that Apple, Amazon type experience in every aspect of their personal, professional lives. And most large organizations haven't been able to, let's say, catch up to that in order to stay relevant and not get disrupted out of their own business.
And Sean, we saw a lot after the first housing bust several years ago. We saw a lot of folks who got laid off and decided, I'm not going back to that, right? They felt very kind of thrown out the door when times got tough. They started. So really heard a lot about the gig economy and entrepreneurs, the blow up of entrepreneurs. Now we've hit COVID, a lot of folks left, right? So then they also started their own, I don't want to go back to work. I'm gonna work on my own terms. Now we have another economic issue coming up, right? I don't even know what to call it right now. It's been called so many things. How do you think that's going to impact this, two waves of the gig economy, the solopreneur, the entrepreneur? What are you all forecasting? Do you think this is going to create another wave? Or do you think the folks that got started, who are still really trying to get started? I mean, it takes a good while to have that sticking power, when you start a business. What do they say? The first 2 years are the true test. What are you predicting that's going to happen in this next 2 to 4 years?
A lot of questions in there. Let me start with.
I said I had a lot of questions. I warned you.
No, it's great. No, it's great. I love it. I can talk about this stuff all day. So how do I put this down into 30 to 45 seconds?
You got time.
So I think we've gone from great resignation to great realignment. In that, I mean, people are starting to recognize that they want a quality of life that's attached to what they do. I think there's a convergence of digital as an opportunity to be able to do it in a very low cost, low risk way. They can experiment their way into a way to support themselves and their families. if they understand it and we're willing to embrace it. I do think we are in for certainly a downturn, but I think it's going to be sector-based. I think there are certain sectors that are going to thrive in the downturn. I think there are others that will sort of stay stagnant for a little while, and I think there are others that are in real trouble. And I think that's a function of the mass digital transformation that's occurred in the last year. And don't get me started about how much money we've been printing. But the idea is that people have an opportunity to start to explore different ways in which to make a living that brings them the balance they want in their life. They're starting to be more, let's say, focused on what really matters to them as the top priority, and then trying to design their way into a career or a living that supports that.
And when you said there's going to be different sectors. So selfishly, I'm going to ask which sector, how do you see the digital marketing space going? Those who have all joined in this digital marketing world, how do you think they're going to be impacted? Well,
I think any and all opportunities in and around technology and digital transformation and the adoption of technology at scale in a world with now 8 billion people is going to continue to grow. That's not going to change. The rate might change, and who's winning will change, because typically in any downturn, only the strong survive, or let's say the grittiest. So those who can focus on what their real value proposition is at the core and how to tie that to the top priority of their customers are the ones that are going to have the best chance of winning. Because in any downturn, the only things that people spend money on are their number one priority. So how do you contribute to that priority? So you've got to get clear on how your value proposition connects to that priority and how you can measure it, and then articulate that correctly to the world. And that's not just for you as a digital agency or business trying to sell your wares, but that's also what you should be doing on behalf of your customer.
All right, Sean, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much. You're right. We could sit here and we talk about this all day. We really appreciate you making the time to share your insight with us today on Digital Champions.
It's my pleasure, Charlene. Jared, as always, great to see you. Look forward to talking to you guys down the road.
You too, buddy. It's great to see you. Thanks for joining us today.
And Jared, good to see you as well. And that's going to do it for us today on Digital Champions. And if you'd like to learn more about U+, you can check them out starting at dailyedbrief.com. I'm your host, Charlene Shirk. Thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to learning something new with you next time.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.